Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending today's nonprofit luncheon. I am Bridget Lake, president of the Oviedo Winter Springs Regional Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our nonprofit luncheon sponsored by Advent Health. First, I would like to recognize our trustees of the Chamber, A Budget Tree Service, Advent Health, Citizens Bank of Florida, City of Oviedo, City of Winter Springs, Duke Energy, Fairwinds Credit Union, Modern Plumbing, Orlando Health, Oviedo City Church, Oviedo Mall, Oviedo Medical Center, and Palm Tree Tech Center. And our partners in progress, we have 419 Metal and Auto Recycling and Platinum Signs and Design. Want to thank our media partners, Falconics, Gizmo Productions, L Media, Look Local Magazine, Orlando Business Journal, Oviedo TV, Socoto Films, Oviedo Winter Springs Life Magazine, and our friends of the Chamber, Cavallari Gourmet, Collins Dental, our newest friend, the Celeste Hotel, District Eat and Play, Edwards Financial Services, Fast Signs of Orlando, Insight Credit Union, ITI Engineering, Gene Arthur Associates, James Evans, the Real Estate Celt, Kilgore, Perlman, Samani, Dennis and Squires, PA, Legends of Winter Springs, Miller's Ale House, Oviedo, Orlando Health Physician Associates, Oviedo YMCA, Partika Group at NAI Real Vest, Rock and Brews Oviedo, Seminole County Property Appraiser David Johnson, Seminole State College, Tuscola Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, University of Central Florida, and ViStar Credit Union. Thank you to all of our supporters. And now let me move on to a couple of our chamber announcements. Our new Health Connection Zoom series presented by Advent Health is a series that will focus on health and well-being of our community by providing options to help reduce fears, manage stress, and provide tools and techniques to cope with this challenging time. Our first presentation will take place on Monday, November 9th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Make sure to register on our website. Join us at our last seminar for Small Business U Series, which will be in-person at Canterbury Conference Center on November 12th, starting at 10 a.m. The topic this month is Building a Tribe of Raving Fans. Our speakers include Charlie Fish with Chick-fil-A, Anna Olivo with Market Atomy, and Deborah Moon with Bell Performance. This workshop will focus on building a customer experience that exceeds customer expectations. Our 33rd annual golf tournament presented by Oviedo City Church is November 20th at Twin Rivers with an 8:30 shotgun start. If you can't attend or play, we are welcoming raffle prizes, door prizes, or be a sponsor for as little as $100. And remember, our golf tournament supports the Oviedo City Church Scholarship for furthering education for Seminole County Public School students. And now let me turn it over to our board member, Randy Perry, to talk about our board of director elections.
Thank you, Bridget. I appreciate that. Just to bring everybody up to date, there were 3 vacancies to some extent on the board this year, 2 of which were rolling off and 1 which is just actually ending her first term. The election of the new board members is based upon 3 board members and 2 active non-board members. We convened and reviewed all the applications. We had 9 applications this year, which I thought was a very good turnout. 2 of the key criteria in selecting board members is diversity in businesses. In other words, we don't want to flood the board with lawyers or real estate agents. We want to make sure we're representing all of the members of the Chamber of Commerce. And participation in chamber events. I think it's very important that you get active in your chamber, and that is the best way of getting value out of your chamber. The 3 candidates that were selected, Diana Socoto of Socoto Films, which is the returning member, as a matter of fact. Jeff Chudnow, who is sort of an independent at this point. He was termed out at the Oviedo City Council, and is also the, I guess, the chair of the Oviedo Boys Club. And Talvo Mendez from Rock and Brew. Since we're in a virtual environment right now, the typical approach to this is an acclamation by the board. The the candidates have been presented as a slate. The membership has the opportunity to vote them up or down. But that's about the extent of it, as a matter of fact. So because we are virtual, we're going to try and do this a little bit different. I'm assuming that unless somebody has an objection, that they are in favor of the slate of Diana Zaccato, Jeff Chudnow, and Tavo Mendez. If you are opposed to the slate, and again, we will tally the votes if you will, please just chat to me individually in the chat box. And if we don't hear anybody opposed, then we will approve by acclamation.
Thank you so much, Randy. I really appreciate that. I'm very excited for our new board members. And now let us give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Advent Health. Today's sponsor remarks will be presented by Community Partnerships Manager for both the North and West region, Danny Holler-Hupp.
Hello, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. Let's see if can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm Danny Huff. I am one of the Community Relations and Partnerships Managers for Advent Health Central Florida Division, and also in Leadership Seminole with Bridget right now. My role is to manage the nonprofit relationships of the hospital and hospital leaders. And with that, we vet sponsorship requests. We're responsible for board strategy and things of that nature. So today I really just wanted to talk to you all a little bit and how we invest back into our community. We're proud sponsors of the Winter Springs Oviedo Chamber. We're happy to partner with such an organization that has the same goals and missions as us. So talking about our community investment, which is what I do in my role, it's required for us by the IRS as a 501c3 to invest back into our community. And for the first year ever, we're actually going to include 6 counties of our 7-county footprint. So that's going to be from Flagler, Volusia, all the way down to our Osceola County. And all of this information is posted on our website, and you should see it there. But this gives a snapshot of how we've given back to the community within the last year. So this is numbers from 2019. So I am very proud to report that in 2019, Advent Health was able to invest $1.2 billion back into our 6-county footprint community. And a couple of buckets here, as you can see on the screen, that I would like to highlight is our Medicaid shortfalls as well as our charity care shortfall. So almost $500 million of that is going to be from folks that just cannot pay for their health care, whether they're coming into the emergency room or they're seeking care elsewhere, where the hospital literally just eats the cost of that. Another bucket that I'd like to highlight is our capital investments. This goes directly back into the most innovative technology in our hospitals to so that our patients can receive the best care possible. A great example of that is that we recently built the Oviedo Emergency Department. We have active projects all throughout Central Florida currently to make sure that we are in the right places to provide healthcare for others. On this next slide, you'll just see here what our footprint is for this particular report. Those are all the hospitals that are included in our 2019 community benefit report that you're seeing here. I would like to highlight the volunteer hours. We really pride ourselves on being able to deploy our employees out in the community year over year. It's something that we take pride in, and we love to do it. This year it's been a little bit different with COVID, where we haven't been able to do that. But traditionally, we are very present in our community. We're helping our community partners with big projects throughout, and we take pride in that. This next slide is just like a snapshot of some of our partners in Seminole County, just to give you an idea of where we are. The Community Impact Department actually manages over 175 different nonprofit relationships just in the Tri-County area of Seminole, Orange, and Osceola counties. These are just a few in Seminole, but there's one in particular that I would like to highlight here on this next slide. So we've been partners with the organization Empower. Many of you may know that they are a mental health telehealth organization located in Longwood. They have a residential treatment center in Oviedo, as well as a transitional center in Winter Park. So this year, with the announcement of our community investment for 2019, we actually gifted Empower over $100,000 to expand their mental health telehealth program. Before COVID, mental health was one of our health priorities, but even everything that we've been through this year, it's even more so important than before. And so we're really proud about that because we want to take a very big stance in mental health. So we gave that gift, and this is just a snapshot of why that we decided to choose Empower to give such a big gift for it. Like I said, they're one of our many partners, but they are providing mental health services at ease for anyone across the state of Florida that's in need. So I guess this is a shameless plug. If you or anyone you know is in need of some mental health services or they need to speak to a licensed professional, please reach out to Empower. They have over 50 providers in their network across the state of Florida, from just mental health counseling all the way to psychiatric counseling. So definitely this is one of our, I think, one of our best investments of 2020, especially with COVID in mind. And then there you'll see just our 4 health needs priorities is behavioral health, food security, community development, and care coordination. And Empower hits on 2 of those. So with that being said, I'll stop talking now, but thank you, Oviedo Winter Springs Chamber. Thank you, Bridget. We love you. We love partnering with you, and we'll continue to in the future. So I will stop sharing my screen now.
And thank you so much, Danny. We're really excited about the new Health Connections Zoom series presented by Advent Health also. So getting ready for that. And now I'm thrilled to announce our speaker today, Andrea Massey-Farrell. Andrea began a new chapter in her career when she was appointed president CEO of the Harvey and Carol Massey Foundation. She also took on the role of senior vice president for community relations for Massey Services, the nation's 5th largest pest prevention company. In her work with the foundation, Andrea oversees its daily operations to ensure that its mission and goals are in alignment with the board's plan and vision for charitable giving and outreach. Andrea also manages the strategic community relations efforts of Massey Services and its team members. Prior to managing the Harvey and Carol Massey Foundation, Andrea was president CEO of Massey Communications, driving all facets of the full-service advertising, graphic design, public relations, and marketing agency. She has over 20 years of marketing, advertising, and public relations experience with clients from varying industries. Andrea is a fervent advocate for educational advancement and the arts. She serves on several boards, including Orange County CRC Governing Board, the Rollins College Hamilton Holt School Advisory Board, and the YMCA of Central Florida, among others. She is a 2020 winner of the Woman of the Year Award presented by Orlando Magazine. As a deeply rooted Floridian, her family has lived and worked here for over 30 years. Andrea has been the driving force behind many successful volunteer initiatives, including the American Cancer Society's Making Strides Against Breast Cancer campaign. She graduated from Rollins College with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Organizational Communications. She lives in Winter Park with her husband, James, and her twin sons, Ethan and Teddy. Andrea, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you. I need you to go around with me all the time so that I really feel like I've done much more than I have. But Bridget, I appreciate you all having me today. I look forward to talking to your members.
Thank you. We love having you here.
Well, I feel like I've now got big shoes to fill after hearing the introduction. But I am thrilled to be here. This is something that not only I do every day, but it's a passion of mine to talk about being a contributing member of the community, and to have an audience of business leaders. Just thrilled to kind of just give my point of view of why it's important to be involved in the community. So Bridget, I don't know if you want me just to kind of take it and run with it, or?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, as the introduction states, I wear two hats. I currently oversee the Harvey and Carol Massey Foundation, as well as strategic community relations for Massey Services. We are currently in 7 states. And so I lead a team that works with our 2,200 team members throughout those states, and in ensuring that we are involved in our communities. And I'd just like to spend a few moments talking about why we feel that that's something that businesses should do. A little bit about the foundation. We've been in existence for 7 years, and it really stemmed out of Mr. and Mrs. Massey realizing that though they had created the community relations efforts for Massey Services, there were a few projects they wanted to do personally, and so decided to separate out the 2 budgets. So I have the pleasure of overseeing both of those. And so the foundation really focuses in Central Florida on items that cover arts and culture, education, and then things that we talk about as special needs, whether it be a veterans program, or Nemours Children's Hospital has a multidisciplinary autism program that we've partnered with them on. And so the foundation really is what tugs at the heartstrings of Mr. and Mrs. Massey and the family members. You know, it's important work in our community, but more importantly to me, it's the work that Massey Services does. We as an organization, included even in our mission statement, is being a contributing member of the society. And what Mr. Massey really started with when writing the mission statement was, you know, as a business leader, it's important to be great at what you do, whether you're a service business providing pest prevention, whether you're a restaurant, a doctor, you know, you want to be the best that you can be. But one of those parts, how he was raised and taught throughout his business career, is you have to be a part of that community. You can't just take from a community without giving back. And so in his mind, community relations was a way that we partner with the rest of the community, that we are out, whether it's giving time, treasure, or talent. You know, it's not just about writing a check. It's about being there side by side with individuals, with families, with other businesses. And so he created a whole program 30 plus years ago to make sure that our team members not only had the opportunity to be a part of the community, but also had the time. So we as an organization, actually, when we are reviewed each year on our performance evaluation, it has community involvement. And it's something that from the top all the way through each one of our 2,200 plus team members, that we walk the walk and talk the talk. So to tell you a little bit about why I feel businesses should be involved in the community, why nonprofits are so important. United Way of Central Florida has stated that if we were all together at a luncheon, I would say look right and look left. And so you can imagine those people sitting around the table with you. One of those individuals is living paycheck to paycheck, and they are one situation away from maybe losing their car or losing their their home, or a family member being sick. The nonprofits in Seminole County and in Central Florida are giving services and benefits to those that may go through a hardship. They may go through a time of need, and nonprofits can't do it alone. And they are, you know, as you saw from Danny's screen, Advent Health, the nonprofits and community organizations they touch on a daily basis, those are so important to our community. You know, the resources they're providing, the services they're providing. You know, we all kind of go through life hoping that we never need those. But when we need that, they're there because of businesses like Massey Services and like the Oviedo Winter Springs Chamber and all of its business members. As a business, we have to be involved in the community. We have to know what's going on. We have to be willing to take a little bit of our time out to make sure that those in need have the resources they need. So, you know, yes, you could say, okay, well, Andrea, I could write a check because that benefits me on my tax return. We all do it. We all drop off, whether it's the Salvation Army or Goodwill, you clean out your children's closets, you get your little receipt, but it is so much more. Business leaders have a skill set. They have a, you know, that toolbox of resources next to them, that it's not just about writing a check. It's about offering up that talent. So one of the things that Massey Services does is, yes, we donate, we have sponsorships, but we provide our pest prevention and termite protection services to nonprofits. As a business leader and in the business community, you understand that a P&L, when you're looking at it every month, you have expenses going out. Well, we as an organization can help alleviate some of that overhead expense by offering a service that would have to be paid for. Yes, it benefits us as a business, but really at the end of the day, it's benefiting a nonprofit. There have been a few nonprofits in Seminole County that shelter women and children. Well, we would go in if they have a pest infestation. You know, no one wants to think about the fact that you've now left everything behind to be in a safe environment, but that safe environment has roaches or has rats, and no one wants to hear that during lunch, so I apologize. But these are items that as businesses we can help with, whether you're a marketing professional and you can give some pro bono work to a nonprofit every month, a little bit at a time, to help them get their message out, or as a healthcare professional, being able to provide services that someone in need, like a Shepherd's Hope, or you know, other organizations throughout Seminole County, that you can donate your time or your expertise. You could be a mentor for the Seminole County Public School Program. If you are a musician outside of your professional life, you could help for any of the arts groups going in. These are things that then that nonprofit doesn't have to pay for. And it provides that resource to make sure that they continue. Now let's add that we've had a pandemic this year. So let's throw COVID into the pot. You know, none of us knew this was coming. And so a lot of businesses are struggling. And on top of that, because of those struggling businesses, the nonprofit industry is terrified at this point. When we sit on calls through the Philanthropy Center at Rollins, there are nonprofits that don't know if they'll be in existence in 2021 and 2022. It's going to take all of us rallying around, doing what we can. Again, it's not just about that treasure. It's that time and that talent to help them stay afloat. It's to, whether if you're in real estate and you can help renegotiate a lease, or you know, those types of services. Nonprofits, whether it goes back to, you know, when Easter Seals was created, or you know, Special Olympics, different nonprofits that have been around, the YMCA, which I know the Oviedo Y is a member of the chamber. You know, the Y was created 100+ years ago because of a need. And think about where we would be without the Y. I mean, it wouldn't be, we wouldn't have basketball, we wouldn't have swimming, we wouldn't have volleyball, things that were actually created at the YMCA. Then you take it a step further and you think about a place not only to work out, but it's to be healing in the body and mind. Well, it's rallying around an organization like the Y to say, okay, we want you to be in existence. COVID is not going away anytime soon, and we all know that as business leaders. But how do we make sure that that infrastructure of nonprofits will still be there? Because cancer hasn't gone away. Homelessness has not gone away. Individuals that are hungry or need medical attention, that has not gone away with COVID. And so business leaders can take it a step further and get involved. Now, kind of the third prong of this, your team members, your employees, your internal audience, when they see the leaders walking the walk and talking the talk, it gives them that pride of what they're doing in their community. It's a way that they then can tell their families, look at the organization I work for, look at some of the things they're doing. One thing we're doing here at Massey, because of COVID, we're not having our holiday parties like we do every year to get everybody together to celebrate. But what we decided as an organization to do is actually to get the dollars we would have spent on the holiday parties, and our service centers and our department heads are going to work with their teams, and we're going to adopt a nonprofit within each of our 7 state areas and give back to that nonprofit during the holiday season. To us, it was still about the team members coming together and celebrating the holidays as a team, but giving back, because there are those that are in need. And holiday time is always worse than other times of the year, because I think we as individuals reflect on what our blessings are, and not everybody has all the blessings that some people do. And so this is a way that we felt we could give back. I bring that up because as we go into the holidays as business leaders, how are we keeping our team motivated? How are we working to make sure that our servers or our baristas are, for all of us that go to Starbucks every day, how are we showing them how much we appreciate them? It just takes that time and that little bit of effort to then give back. And there are nonprofits within Seminole County that just bringing some gifts in for children, or for making sure that cancer research is continuing. Those are little things that go a long way. And it doesn't have to be thousands of dollars, because everybody's business is a different size. It's just taking a look at how we can continue to plant seeds that will help these nonprofits grow. There's a philosophy and a quote that a few of you may have heard come up from Mr. Massey, or I've used it a few times, but it's really the thought process that we live by. And it's a Greek proverb quote that says, "A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they shall never sit in." And when you start thinking about from a business standpoint, it's, yes, at the end of the day, we're here to make a profit. We are here to provide a service. But for us to continue to grow as businesses, we need to be planting those trees. We need to be making sure that we are putting roots down where our business will continue to succeed, because the community will be flourishing. And to have a flourishing community, you have to have these nonprofits providing services to those in need. So it is definitely, I could go off on a soapbox. I could demand all of you, donate, to this organization or this organization. Seminole County has an incredible group. I mean, from Danny's slide alone, between Empower, Kids House of Seminole County, the YMCA, there are so many that are doing so much. And right now they're doing it with so little. Government grants are drying up. The tourism development tax, without having all of the tourists come into the state of Florida, those dollars will not be there for 2021 and 2022. And we as a business community can rally around those nonprofits. Again, it's not just writing a check. It's volunteering time. It's maybe doing a work session on a Friday afternoon when you know that you don't have a lot of appointments, and getting your team together to go out into the community, COVID safe from a CDC guideline, but making sure that you're giving back. it's about teaching the next generation, the younger team members, about the importance of being involved in the community, even down to making sure our children are involved. As you heard from the introduction, I have teenage boys that are 15. Well, they're involved in the community. We make a point that they are out throughout the year, whether it be at walks or going to some of like a Christian help to make sure that they see the food pantry that's there and what needs to be done. It's taking the blinders off. And as business leaders, we can help our team members, our employees, our staff take the blinders off and realize that, as I started out saying, you look left and you look right. We don't always know what's going on in someone's world, but if we make sure that these nonprofits can sustain, then those people that are looking left and looking right, that have an issue, that they can get the services they need, which then gets them back to work. It's a whole cycle. So it's really important. I can't stress that enough, but I would like to take a few moments to see if you have, from a business standpoint, if you have specific questions. I can try to help with examples of some of the things that I've participated in to help in some communities. So I will open it up.
Andrea, thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, let's make sure that you type that in the Q&A, the chat box. And you mentioned some really good points here. One of them is nonprofits really filling that void. Now, with the holidays coming up, is there anything in particular that is good information for us to know how to help nonprofits, especially during the holiday season?
That's a great question. Nonprofits have been putting out notices lately regarding helping buy gifts for the holidays, maybe wrapping. Boys and Girls Club is always in need of mentors during the holidays, especially with the kids that are on launch ed right now. There's more children that need tutoring. They need mentorship. When you can take some time off during the holidays, being able to give back in that capacity, and it can be over a Zoom. Other things that they're needing is they haven't been able to have galas this year. They have not been able to have their auctions. And so if there's something from the perspective, maybe not a cash gift, but is there something that we as business owners and business leaders can help maybe alleviate some of the pressure off of their balance sheet, whether it's donating time, whether it's, you already have your holiday cards going to the printer. Can you do a little bit extra at the printer and be able to give that in-kind donation? So there are a lot of needs, and the year's coming to a close quickly. And as all of us are closing out our year, so are the nonprofits, and they're trying to figure out how not to cut back services.
Absolutely.
So yes.
And have you seen some interesting or eclectic relationships that happen between businesses and nonprofits? I know sometimes you see one and it just really makes sense, and it gets everyone very excited about that. Are there any of those that you've seen recently? It has been interesting recently. I have seen a number of businesses that get introduced because of being at a luncheon or being, being out in the community. They see a name. And an example recently is an organization got together with a nonprofit, and then the executive realized that their family member needed a service from this nonprofit. And because of that relationship, they realized, everything happens for a reason. Being able to have that synergy, realizing that that need, and it was more just, hey, yeah, we'll partner with you guys. It's a great idea. You're doing a great job. And then it was, oh, wait, I actually need what you're providing. And so I think a lot of times you see that. It could be that, a service business, like a Massey Services, getting involved in something in the environment. And people are like, well, why would you do that? Well, we're here to also protect the environment. It's not just about the bugs and there's us working with an organization like Audubon.
and taking care, again, planting the trees for future. So it's been, and especially with COVID, I think watching nonprofits collaborate more to where then businesses have more of an opportunity to work with multiple agencies instead of just the one, and being able to have a larger impact in the community.
Thank you. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Jordan. I can't see any of the questions that are being typed in, so Jordan's going to take over some of this.
Yeah, definitely. So I have Gary said that nonprofits that he contributes to have always said that there are more outreaches and money contributed at Christmas. The idea of monthly or even weekly contributions gives ongoing help during the time when the contributions of most people stop. What are your thoughts on this?
I think, Gary, that is an absolutely spectacular point. The holidays are very important, but there are 12 months in a year. And a business has to, let me state, and the nonprofits that are listening right now are going to cringe, especially if those that have heard me before, but a nonprofit, a 501c3 is a tax status. They are still a business, and their business is still to make money. And I put that in air quotes, to make money, because you have to roll those dollars back into your services. So, Gary, my thoughts, and for everyone, it is 12 months out of the year. There are times. And so if you can find that in-kind service or that donation or those volunteer hours and spread it out throughout the year, then there's not that crunch at the end of the year. Now, this year's been a little different with COVID, because with the lockdown and businesses having to shut down for a little bit or not be able to provide the services, everybody's scrambling a little bit. But in a normal year, these nonprofits need our help all year round. And it could be, I love the thought of, doing weekly contributions, or an idea that we do here at Massey is we have our dress code is business attire Monday through Thursday. And every Friday we do a jeans day. And the jeans, it's $5 for team members to be able to wear jeans. We pick different nonprofits throughout the year. We send out communications to all of our team members throughout the 7 states of this is this nonprofit, this is the example. But at the same time, then we are trying every Friday to continue to make a difference. And that's our tagline is making a difference. We are mad for our nonprofits. And I think it's those ideas, whether it be a bake sale, whether it be, a gift for teaching, for Orange County, and I know Seminole County Public Schools does the same, that, that drive maybe in the spring before kids start summer school, or, over the summer, there's different times of the year, and working within those nonprofits, I think finding when their need is, because it's not just during the holidays, it's going to be the whole time. So yes, that's a great point, Gary.
And I just want to make note that the Oviedo Winter Springs Regional Chamber of Commerce actually has about 10% of our membership is nonprofits. And they see quite a value when it comes to connecting with businesses and networking with them and being able to find those partnerships, those volunteers, those donors. Are there any suggestions you would have on how to find donors, more easily, or during this season, or during COVID, I should kind of mention, as we're all going through this, any suggestions on how to make that happen when there are some limitations on meeting and networking now?
Right. No, that's great. What I have seen throughout COVID and some of the things that have worked is a lot of social media, being able to connect, creating through that social media campaign, is more of that strategic marketing, finding a way, best to describe, from putting my marketing hat on, targeted messages, but kind of on NBC years ago, they used to have the "Do you know?" and you'd have this whole, almost like a PSA. A great way to get in front of donors is to really be, top of the mind. Be out there, be in front of individuals, be relevant. having a social media campaign, not to go off on a marketing tangent, but you can't just have a Facebook page or have an Instagram page and then do nothing with it. There has to be a conversation. I think making sure your board members are out there really trying to drive traffic to your organization. I think there's a way that you can find donors with COVID through, research, looking at the Orlando Business Journal's Book a List, finding out there are philanthropy lists, find out what corporations are giving, and then sending a letter, sending an email, a note through LinkedIn or through social media to do an introduction. Nonprofit and donor development is the same as it's sales. And so that you have to build a rapport. You've got to make sure that there is, there's a connection, there's a synergy. And most donors would say, or potential donors, even if I don't have an interest right now, it doesn't mean I won't in the future, or it doesn't mean I don't know individuals that could help you. And so finding those connections, using those business connections to really get out. Now being involved in a luncheon like right now, being on that Zoom call, as a nonprofit, again, you are a business. So finding those connections, using your network, but also your board should be doing that as well. Making sure there's that, hey, can we have a quick coffee? And it could be, one thing that someone did for me is they sent a letter over the summer, mailed me a Starbucks gift card and said, can we set up a Zoom? I'd love to have coffee with you. And it was a cold call, but it got my attention. And of course, I was like, sure, I'd be happy to, and then, taking Starbucks out of it, but there are local coffee shops that then, you're helping out a local business. And then, so then there's that connection of kind of helping each other and realizing nonprofits are also open to collaborating. With COVID, I've seen them more willing to share their list. Maybe there's a donor that it doesn't work for them, but because they're friends with another nonprofit, they're happy to do that. So I think those are ideas. It's sales 101. And I think you just have to find that avenue, but keep at it. Don't do it just once. Keep going. A longtime individual that was with the Disney Community Relations Department for a number of years, she used to say it's like dating. You have to start with at least the first conversation, and it's kind of that blind date, and keep working that relationship. And that's what the nonprofits will need to do.
Thank you. And I know Jordan has a question right now.
Yes, I do. So I remember you talking about bigger businesses, like corporate businesses, getting out and maybe picking a nonprofit and helping them out. What are some good first steps to start that process?
We actually, some of the things that we've done at Massey is we've surveyed our team members and asked what tugs at their heartstrings. What projects are they working on, or what would they like to work on? Another thing that we do is we research through the Association of Fundraising Professionals to see who has, the most need right now. And then, you kind of take the pulse of those team members with the survey, but then also what the needs are in the community, and try to find that connection. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but I think, it's the trial and error. It's the kind of jumping in and setting up that time. It could be, now again, we have COVID, but it could be a lunch and learn where you have your team set up on a Zoom or on Teams or WebEx, and that nonprofit starts talking about the services that are being offered or the need. And it gets those creative juices flowing for everyone to say, okay, I want in. I want to be able to, do Habitat for Humanity to go build a house, or I want to, there's an organization in, that a team member's daughter founded outside of Florida, but she realized there were individuals in her high school that were going home hungry on the weekend. And so here is a 16-year-old that now packs backpacks of food and takes it down to where these teenagers are living on the weekends. And so I think it's really kind of having your ear to the ground to find out what's driving your team members. Our Jeans Day campaign, my eyes have been opened to some of the nonprofits in Seminole County and Orange County that are smaller. And those are the ones to me that really can benefit from something that time, treasure, and talent can do. I mean, and so our team members now, we actually have a list because we switch after 2 Fridays of Jeans Days. And they send in the request of, I have my sister was able to benefit from this. I'd love to be able to give back. And so I think, asking, finding out what they're interested in is the best way. And then really, trying to connect with that nonprofit to see, besides just writing a check, how else you could be beneficial to them.
And I agree with you on that storytelling aspect of really letting people get into your world and see what your nonprofit is up to and what you do. And I know that we have a great discussion board, the OWS RCC discussion board at our chamber, that our members are able to tell their stories and connect with our members. Even through COVID, that's actually when we had initially started that discussion board, to make sure that people were able to stay connected. And that's a great tool for not just, nonprofits, but all of our chamber members to stay connected. And
right.
We had a nonprofit gathering where our nonprofits got, their 3 to 5 minutes to talk about what they do. And nonprofits were in there actually teaming up with other nonprofits to help them out. So it was really exciting to see that, businesses to nonprofits helping them out is very beneficial, but nonprofits are very much about, because they understand the struggle, I guess you'd say, very much open to helping each other out and build connections with each other also.
Exactly. Well, and I feel like, Seminole County is a large enough county where there is enough to go around for everyone. And the nonprofits in Seminole County understand working together, really finding a way through Oviedo and Winter Springs to bring together exactly what you said. Working together, they can accomplish a lot more than just being that silo. And they do a great job. I mean, I love working with, there's a group of nonprofits over there that I just really enjoy partnering with them, because it's about the community at the end of the day. It's about sustainability. It's about, providing a stable environment, because then everybody within the community wins. So yeah, it's incredible.
Well, absolutely. Is there anything else that you wanted to add in as we wrap this up, Andrea?
I just, I hope, if you take away anything from today, it's just about, making sure you're planting the trees, making sure it's not just about today. It's about next year. It's about 5 years from now. It's about making sure our families stay within the community that we're in. Yes, we want our kids to, we give them their wings. Let's see if they can fly. But really, as a parent, it's about coming back and living within a block from me and making sure you're helping keep our community going. But it is, at the end of the day, it's about making an investment. It's not about giving a gift. It's not about handing somebody a check. It's investing in the future. And so I am happy if anybody would like to reach out separately and brainstorm ideas. Happy to tell you some of the things that have worked for us and haven't worked for us, but just appreciate all that's going on within Oviedo and Winter Springs. And Bridget, to you and Jordan and the team, thank you for the opportunity to come today and talk about the importance of nonprofits in our community and why as businesses we should be nurturing them and making sure that they're here in the future. So thank you so much.
And thank you so much. That is Andrea Massey-Farrell, and she is with the Harvey and Carol Massey Foundation. Thank you very much for coming today. And thank you to our sponsor, Advent Health, for sponsoring. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time.